Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Froggy Stocks. Nothing I say is financial advice, entertainment purposes only. Wanted to make a really basic video. What is going on? AMC, American Multi-Cinemas, and GME, GameStop. Everybody's heard about it at this point, but what is going on? This is AMC Theaters. They were a theater that was forced to close their doors during the pandemic. State and federal laws, governors mandated, we all live there. So they did really, really bad during that time. They didn't have a way to bring in revenue. GameStop was going under because of incredible actions of multi-billionaire Wall Street people that were destroying the company. It's a common practice. They come in, they put people on the board of directors, they buy a bunch of stock so they can do it, and they have internal strife in the company, which causes them to go downhill really fast. As you have all heard, Ryan Cohen bought most of GameStop, or is the CEO now, turning it around, doing a fantastic job. Adam Aaron is turning AMC around. The AMC Apes doing a fantastic job. Both companies are doing very well now. So what was going on that caused this entire movement? Well, we'll go back to this time frame, which was 2020, 2019, 2020. At some point in time, a lot of people in Wall Street decided they didn't want AMC to do good anymore. So they started short selling the company, which is basically you're betting against the company doing good. You're selling stock short instead of buying it long, right? And you can see these really hardcore red down lines here on the chart are indications, these gaps down, of extreme short selling happening in AMC theaters. Now, what happened is during the pandemic, they were able to get it down to $1.91. AMC Theaters is a 101-year-old company, right? It's survived multiple things in the past. This almost did it in. The U.S. government and the state governments and their mandates forced the theater closed so they could not operate, could not make revenue. And big Wall Street names you've heard before that caused the 2008 crash, like Citadel, Susquehanna, Credit Suisse, Bank of America, Deutsche Bank, all decided they wanted to short this thing into oblivion. Now, theoretically, how do you even sell a stock you don't own? Well, that's part of the market. That's the short selling. You can buy the stock and sell it short, or you sell it short and then you have to buy it later. Now, a short squeeze, you pull it up here. I'll just read a very basic definition so I don't go into too many details. This video is for newer people coming in. A short squeeze is an unusual condition that triggers rapidly rising prices in a stock or other tradable securities. For a short squeeze to occur, the security must have an unusual degree of short sellers holding positions in it. That's when you sell short. Now, in that, big companies who sell stock short don't have to report that they're selling it short. Some do, so they create a mania and everybody jumps in and sells short. Some don't. If you're selling actual stock short, you don't have to report that, so people can't actually see it. So the short interest percent, right? You might not know what it truly is. Let's just check Fintel today. Short interest. Fintel is a reporting agency. I don't use them too often. I usually use Ortex, but they have the data. So right now it's saying AMC is 21.12% short of the entire float. The float is how many shares are out in the market that are available for purchase at any point in time, right? There's an outstanding and then there's a float. Outstanding is the total number of shares. The float are the shares available to buy and sell. So right now, over 21% of the entire float, which is 108.869 million shares of AMC, are sold short. It's absolutely crazy. The total number of shares out there are 516.8 million right now. This is an incredible amount of short interest. Now, keep in mind, like I said, you do not have to report your short position. This could be very much higher than what is being reported right now, which I believe it very much is. So in that, way back when, Redditors and DFV, Deep Fucking Value, he's a guy on Reddit, he was a streamer who had got really popular over the GameStop run, right? You had GameStop go absolutely crazy back the same time frame right here. GameStop was in the same situation, down to $2.57 a share. What had happened is a group of people got together and found out after the big Robinhood push for retail investors to come in, everybody found out that these companies were sold so short that wasn't even probably possible. They had GameStop at 136% short interest. So a bunch of people got together, talked about it, discussed what was going on, and said, why don't we buy this stock and see if the shorts get squeezed out? Is basically what happened. So a bunch of people got in. They started spreading the word on the internet. They said, this is what I'm getting into, blah, blah, blah. And what happened is they started triggering massive price runs right here on, January 10th through the 13th. Right here was the first run when it went from $12.40 all the way up to $50. Then it kept creeping, $40, $50, 60, 70, 80, went up to $438. Now, why that happens is because when short sellers get trapped in their position, they can take infinite losses. When they short a stock, they want the price to go down. That's how they make money. People who will hold it long lose money. The company lose money, and short sellers, as it goes down, they gain money. If that price goes up past the point they shorted, they start taking losses. If they shorted at 10 and it goes to 50, that is a massive loss for them. And they have to decide if they're going to stay in the play to try to see if the price comes back down, or if they're going to cover, which means they started shorting at 10 and now they have to buy the stock at 50. And when they do that, they start buying at those incredible prices. It causes exponential price increase, which you see happen here, right? So very, very simple process. Short sellers sell short at a certain price. If it goes up, they lose. Then they either decide to cover as fast as they can and get out, which is a massive loss for them that causes increase in price, or they get stuck in it and they can take literally infinite losses. That's what happened on GME. That's what happened on AMC. And I'll tell you, these weren't true short squeezes. The shorts, a lot of them did not cover. What happened is when we got to these incredible price ranges, a bunch of people in the market, Robinhood, Citadel, the Federal Reserve, the government, the Treasury, the SEC, Susquehanna, Deutsche, everybody got together just like in 2008, like you see in the videos, and they said, we got a big problem here. We've got trillions of dollars on the line that is about to be lost to retail. So what they said is, we're too big to fail. Let us do what we have to do to fix this. And they did. What they did is Robinhood and a bunch of other brokers decided on January 28th, right here, that they were going to take the buy button away. You were no longer able to buy AMC, GME, and some other stocks like BlackBerry people were in at the same time. That has never happened in market history. Who has the right in the market to say you can't buy this stock, but we can keep shorting it and selling it? It's a guaranteed loss for retail. It's a guaranteed fail for retail. So a lot had happened. When you can't buy a stock, supply and demand curve changes, the price goes down. So people who were buying in at 10, 20 bucks up here got screwed, and immediately we dropped right back down to 5. And that's when people so-called paper-handed or sold because they panic sold, right? That's what they wanted us to do. That's what retail has been learning year over year, is that paper handing, panic selling is exactly what they want you to do. They didn't actually cover their shorts. A couple people probably got out the door as quick as they could, which caused this massive price increase and trapped these other players like Citadel, Susquehanna, Bank of America in this play, right? They thought we were going to give up here. They thought we were going to give up. A lot of people didn't. A lot of people decided maybe it's time to get in. And with everybody, millions and millions of apes doing DD, we figured out that they hadn't covered their short interest, so the price started rising again. Took a lot of time. Hedge funds thought they were doing okay, and then boom, June 6th, Executive Order 14032 kicked in, which caused a liquidity crunch on hedge funds who were still short the stock. 14032 is an executive order that says you cannot use Chinese derivatives, Chinese stocks, Chinese companies that you've invested in long as an American company. You can't use those on your books as collateral or liquidity to meet margin requirements. Margin call is when you have too much of a position in a certain stock and the people that you've sold that short to want their money back. They want that stock back. They want to see that you have the money in your hands to be able to cover that position. If you've sold $100 of stock short, right, they want to make sure that you have 100% of that money on hand to be able to cover that so that they don't get stuck with the cost. Really, really simple concept. Margin requirements for these stocks are through the roof right now. So anyways, we ran to 72. GameStop ran to like 400 at around the same time. Boom. And then it started coming back down. And people are like, well, why is it stopping? If there's still short interest open, why is it stopping? It's because these market makers started playing these games. They started using algorithmic trading. They started using high frequency trading and what they call short ladder attacks, where companies sell stocks back and forth to each other super quick, 1 share at a time or 10 shares at a time, whatever it is, super quick at different prices to slowly knock the price down. What they do is they create a supply and demand scenario that's not good for the stock. More or less, some people did decide to sell up here at 72.62. Some retail did. Some retail held on, and it worked for a minute. And I think hedge funds thought they were going to, in this area right here, I think hedge funds thought they were going to start winning again. They were going to short back up here and start winning it on the way back down. Then it ran again. Then it ran back up to 64 bucks. Looked really good. A lot more retail jumped in, and then they really started putting on the pressure by shorting the IWM, which is index that AMC makes up a big part of. So now not only are they shorting AMC on the stock, they're shorting it in the ETFs and the indexes, which causes a massive downward pressure on the stock. So a lot of people went through this dip and bought back up to here, right? Which was really good. And then they really started playing some fuckery games, man. They really started laying it on. I think they've increased short interest way past 24%. I think they've shorted the IWM over 40%. And any ETFs and whatnot also caused that. But there was a point, at some point, they created what we call a BDR, a Brazilian depository receipt, where people in the Brazilian markets could buy these U.S. securities, right? Which I think was a huge, huge no-no. It should have never happened. I think they used it to create liquidity pools on the other side so they could continue shorting these stocks. Really bad situation. So we got knocked down really, really hard. Buying pressure fell off. Short sellers were doing all this algorithmic trading, shorting the IWM, and they started what we call options trading. They started scamming options traders. What they were doing was they were pumping the stock like right here, making huge runs, which then encouraged people, options traders, to jump in on weekly call options to buy those so they could steal the premiums. And we've been talking about that for weeks now. So now for all these months, you had a lot of YouTubers from here to here, from October 2021 to May 2022, a lot of influencers telling people to buy these options because, options trading can be profitable. But the problem is AMC and GME do not behave like normal stocks. They have rigged, the market makers, Citadel, have rigged the options chain through a method called payment for order flow, where they, as the market maker, pay your broker for your orders to place themselves. What they do is it allows them to know where retail money is consolidated to front run the trades. It's absolutely disgusting. And not only in doing that, they're creating larger spreads that they're making money off of too. Because we've been watching almost every Friday, we don't just drop below max pain, we drop well below max pain, which is why I use my Hoyle's method, highest open interest on the lowest strike. The lowest strike price that has at least 50% of the open interest of the highest open interest on a higher strike. So say $20 has 10,000 open interest on call options, right? Then I'll go down the list and find the lowest strike price with at least 5,000 open interest on the calls. And that's the price that I predict we close usually on Friday. And I will say it's been 9 out of 10 successful. Very, very successful dip buying utility. So now here we are, back here, where we are today. The ape movement has increased globally, worldwide. We have over 4 million AMC investors. Adam Aaron has said at one point in time, the average shareholder held at least 120 shares. We all think that is actually probably closer to 500 shares apiece, which comes into the theory that market makers and the industry has created synthetic shares. We think there are billions of synthetic AMC shares out there that the short sellers are going to have to cover when this thing starts popping off again. This blue line here is just a reenactment of what happened this time last year. It's not my prediction of where we're going to go. Here, this interesting day on March 29th, March 31st, we ran to $34 out of nowhere. This was 2 weeks before Melvin Capital, who was shorting GameStop, publicly announced they were going to go out of business. What I think happened here is Melvin actually had AMC shorts through the IWM. They were shorting the IWM. IWM ran at the same time that this ran. And this was 2 weeks before Melvin announced they're going out of business. I think what they did is they covered their shorts. It caused a massive run. Citadel and Susquehanna came back in and bought it all up and knocked us back down to this $10 range. And if you zoom out, this is where we are today. We are at the exact same price action, price areas that we were at the same time frame as we are today, as we were back on June 6th, with the same executive order going into place, 14032, and not to mention that Bitcoin did the exact same thing, these blue boxes, the exact same price action as they did last year, because the short sellers are using Bitcoin to steal retail money so they can use it to cover their bad positions in the market. Bitcoin is a complete freaking scam, people. It was cool at first when it was just people in it, but now that the institutions got in, they can pump and dump Bitcoin just like the Wojak series, the Bogdanov, pump it, dump it. That's what they're doing, man. Right here, they said, okay, we got Bitcoin back up to 69. Retail bought back in, dump it, boom. Took all your money, and now they're using it to play against you in stocks like AMC, right? So here we are. Today, we're sitting at $12.45 with massive, massive good earnings coming in for AMC theaters. As you all know, Top Gun crushed it in theaters. So did Doctor Strange. Very good movies. Doctor Strange is working over $800 million now. Top Gun made over $324 million in a 7-day period and is still rocking strong. It's looking really good for Q2. Q2 is the next earnings call for AMC theaters, which people are saying, institutions and news media, people are estimating a negative 19-cent loss per share. I think we're going to come in closer to negative 10 cents to 5, which is really good, or even positive, because just on Top Gun alone, with 3.3 million people going in a 5-day period, 3.3 million people went to see Top Gun at AMC theaters in a 5-day period. It equates to close to $30 million just in concession sales alone. So we're sitting here. Companies are strong, looking bullish. We have the 14032 catalyst. We got Bitcoin dipping. We got AMC 10 times as strong as it was this time last year at the 72 run. And we have 2 or 3 more catalysts coming in the form of a branded credit card, popcorn sales in grocery stores, and AMC crypto coin. Short interest is back through the roof. Cost to borrow, which is the cost you have to pay to borrow shares from somebody to short, is through the roof. Right here, we have only 150,000 shares available as of the other day. The cost to borrow minimum for AMC now is 8.22%. Imagine you're a short seller borrowing shares to short at $12.43 at 8 to 10%. And you're borrowing millions of shares. That is a huge bill that comes due. That is a massive bill. GameStop's cost to borrow is over 100%. It's absolutely insane. And I'm sorry I'm using Fintel. I wouldn't totally recommend believing everything on Fintel. But none of the reporting agencies are really that accurate. I go to Fintel just for quick references. GameStop, short interest, 24%, over 15 million shares. And keep in mind, it's higher short interest because GameStop doesn't have a big of a float as AMC does. 24%, 0 shares left to borrow, and the minimum cost to borrow is 98.34% minimum. I think it's actually much higher than this. Fintel might have not updated their stuff, but when your shares are over $100, you're over $100 a share, and you're borrowing $100 shares at over 100% short interest, that's insane, man. That's the theory, is these hedge funds who are now going out of business, losing millions of dollars a day. Tiger Global is losing $130 million a day playing this game, are about to close down their doors. They're going to have to cover all the shares they've shorted in GameStop and AMC, which is going to cause an exponential increase in price action like we saw on June 6th, or June 1st, but I think much, much higher. This was not the true squeeze because there was still massive short interest left over afterwards. This was more of a FOMO buy-in that the market maker didn't have control of the stocks at the time. There probably was a little bit of covering in there, but most likely they didn't cover everything. So the theory is we're going to go on another big run. Both companies have massive short interest. Both companies are doing much better fundamentally, financially, business-wise than they were last year. The Bitcoin drop. We have the cost to borrow going through the roof, ran out of fingers. Your shares shorted, you have to pay a fee called cost to borrow, which is going up and up and up, which makes it harder for you to hold your short shares. So these companies are hurting right now. They can't continuously keep bleeding this money, right? So they're sitting there thinking, man, we got to cover, but how do we do this without losing not only our money, but our reputations? You got to imagine Gabe Plotkin at Melvin Capital lost his investors billions of dollars. His reputation is done. And not to mention that, but Ken Griffin at Citadel Securities said that Gabe was one of the greatest investors of our generation after he gave him a $2.5 billion bailout that he almost immediately took back after Gabe Plotkin took a huge hit on Facebook. And why I think they did that is I think Ken Griffin paid Gabe Plotkin to tank his fund, to eat him, cannibalize him, to get that money. Because when Gabe went long on Facebook, Citadel went short on it. It's called insider trading. It's been going on for years. I can't believe they're still operating. So that's where we're sitting, you guys. AMC, GME, high short interest, short squeeze scenario because there's a lot of retail investors that are holding the stock. We own over 90% of the float of AMC theaters. Short sellers are going to run out of shares to short. They're going to get trapped in their position. The volume's going to decrease, and what's going to happen is the cost to borrow is going to go up because as these lenders, the people loaning these shares, see that these institutions are getting into more and more trouble, they're going to increase the cost to borrow or get their shares back. And if they get their shares back, if they do a share recall, that means short sellers have to cover and buy the stock starting back in at this $12 price range, which is going to cause a massive influx in price rise at over 100 million shares that are short. Imagine 100 million shares. I'm the first to cover, and I have to buy 100,000 shares at $12, right? Say I'm just a little fund. That's going to cause a price increase. Then the next fund's going to see that and go, oh crap, the price is going back up. I've got 500,000 shares short and I'm in at $20. If this thing goes back up to $20, I'm going to lose anything I made. So they start covering $12, $15, $16, $17. So now it's there. Now we're in big trouble. Now the big funds shorting millions and millions of shares got to go, man, we're going to lose all our money if we don't get out of this play. They're going to start, it's going to be a race to the exit. They're going to start trying to cover millions of shares all at once. And then retail is going to come in and go, man, the price is going up. All right, man, I'm going to jump back in. I'm going to FOMO buy in and ride this. And we're going to squeeze this thing out hundreds and thousands of dollars. So that's literally the scenario that'll happen. That could happen. It looks like it's going to happen. I'm not saying for sure it's going to happen, but it damn sure it looks like it's going to happen. So look where we are last year, here to here, a 1 year period. Exact same spot, exact same price, higher short interest, more shares shorted, Bitcoin's in the dirt again, less hedge funds with less liquidity, and both companies with more money, more investors, and stronger fundamentals. The short thesis is dead. Short sellers need to run for the effing hills. They are going to get destroyed unless they cheat again and shut down the market. And if they do that, they're going to have a shitstorm on their front doorstep because retail is sick and tired of getting screwed over. And not just that, but these institutions, these market makers, these hedge funds have robbed everybody's 401k once again, just like back in 2008. People are down 30, 40% or more on their 401ks because of the moral hazard and financial irresponsibility of companies like Citadel Securities, Melvin Capital, White Square Capital, Tiger Global, all of them, man. They're losing people money across the board, and the only way they can make it back up is if they cheat retail out of this squeeze play. That's the only way. And that's not going to happen because if this price goes back down to $1.50, which it won't, Adam Aaron and company are going to have to come out of left field with massive lawsuits on corrupt practices against the SEC and the entire market. And it's going to be multiple companies coming together to do that. BlackBerry, GameStop, AMC, Mullen, Bed Bath & Beyond, all of it, man. All of it. We will not lose this. If they don't think that millions of people won't show up on their front doorstep if they try to steal our money again, they are sadly, sadly mistaken. In that, I want to play a clip from Charles Payne where he was talking about this exact topic back on January 27, 2021, when they took the buy button away from brokers and we dropped from 21 bucks back down to 5 on AMC. This is a super good video. One sec. Sorry, we got a speaker issue here. Let me fix this. Speakers. There we go. Okay, now we're on.
Of these stocks on January 11th or before. I've got the report in my hand that I sent out to my subscribers, and here's the list. The shorts, first of all of this nonsense, all of this noise, all of this whining by Wall Street, it's making me sick. 140% of GameStop was short. I didn't hear one person on TV complaining about Wall Street trying to crush GameStop. 140% short. I told my subscribers, buy this stock, and they made a fortune. I also told them to buy Virgin Space, Virgin. We took profits on that today. Fizz, that's up huge. Tangers is up huge. Neil, you can't allow Wall Street to short 75% of a stock, and nobody says anything. Crush these companies into the dirt, and then when the individual investor makes money, everyone's up in arms. Oh, they're going to lose their shirt. Don't you think people are trading? If it traded 80 billion shares today, people are ringing the register. I have a kid who bought a house. He made $50,000 and bought a house. So yes, some people are going to lose and some are going to win. But if they want to change the rules of the game now because the general public is making money after decades of the shorts crushing thousands of stocks into the dirt. I have watched stocks being crushed completely to zero, and no one ever whispered anything because those stocks didn't have Wall Street sponsorship. They were small names. Maybe they went public through a reverse takeover. Whatever it was, the shorts have had their way with the market for decades. No one's ever complained about it. So I am thrilled. If you are going to try to destroy a company by shorting 140% of its stock, you have to accept the fact that individual investors are playing the same game that you're playing, and now you're losing.
For centuries, smart investors have used.
And this is cool that this popped up. Dave Portnoy was one of the victims of this play. That's why everybody calls him Paperhand Portnoy. But in reality, he was actually robbed too. He started buying in on this stock at 10, 20 bucks. And then all of a sudden they took the buy button away and he lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Everybody knows Portnoy from Barstool Sports. So let me get this back up.
Casino market and money. Susan, come on in. What's with GameStop?
Well, we were up above $500 a piece just a few hours ago, up 400% on the week, 1,700% on the year. And this upward surge briefly capped last night when the Reddit page Wall Street Bets that started this whole GameStop phenomenon was briefly made private. It quickly came back online, but on Discord, another social media platform, they banned this Wall Street Bets page. And don't forget, we did see a lot of these favorite short squeeze plays drop in reaction when that Reddit page went private briefly. AMC's of the world, BlackBerry dipping last night. Now, this morning, the short squeeze and the favorites are back on, and we're also checking on some chatter that's taking place on Robinhood right now. Apparently, one of the most popular trading sites has now restricted trade.
So you see what happened right there. During this squeeze was already supposed to happen. Robinhood, who is the right arm of Citadel Securities, who is a market maker, restricted buying these stocks. They said that they had a massive margin call on their hands of over $300 billion it was some insane amount of money. The problem is Robinhood didn't have the shares they were selling to people. They were selling synthetic shares because the market maker Citadel was allowing it to happen. This was a huge money grab. They baited retail in with flashy gamification trading apps during the pandemic while the government was giving them thousands of dollars. And the plan is that these hedge funds were going to use this to fix their 2008 deficits during that market crash. They were going to bring all this government money in, try to get retail into stocks like Facebook and all this other stuff, right? And instead of doing that, retail got into AMC and GameStop. All that money they thought they were going to get, these bad hedge funds and banks, didn't go to them. They actually had to double down on their bad bets on these short positions, which is now causing them to sell off most of their stocks like Facebook, Amazon, and Netflix. And look at Facebook for the year. Look at this. This is the pandemic start right here. This is where retail got in, had all this money slammed into the market. And now that they're caught in these bad short positions on AMC and GameStop, they've had to liquidate companies like Facebook because they need that money to keep playing their short position. They have to meet that margin requirement. Let's see, Netflix too. And this is why you never listen to Jim Cramer. Jim Cramer told you to buy Netflix right here at the peak. And then it's done nothing but gone down since then. These are big institutions selling their stocks so they have money to keep shorting AMC and GameStop. They're causing one of the worst market situations in history. They are absolutely going to go under. And I predict it will be the end of hedge funds, most hedge funds completely. We'll keep going back, finish this video. I just want to explain that little bit.
Trade in GameStop, AMC, and Express. We haven't received confirmation yet from Robinhood. This might be a reason why we're looking at GameStop shares down this morning in the pre-market. Here's Dave Portnoy tweeting out his frustrations at this possible Robinhood restriction, saying that somebody's going to have to explain to me in what world Robinhood and others literally are trying to force a crash by closing the open market. Is that fair? They should all be in jail. And Stu, you know this goes back to TD Ameritrade yesterday, the first online brokerage to cap and restrict trading in these short squeeze plays and favorites like GameStop, AMC, and Express. And it just makes you wonder, do the companies need to step in here to handcuff and handhold retail investors when the government won't do it?
I don't know, but that's exactly what some of...
Yes, they do. And that's what's going on, is Adam Aron and Ryan Cohen have taken steps to not only make the companies fundamentally stronger, but to ensure that they're not going to be attacked by these short sellers anymore. They're just waiting for them to get out of their position. That's why Cohen has been doing what he's been doing with GameStop. That's why Adam Aron has listened to all the apes who gave him wonderful ideas, like selling merchandise, movie ticket price increases. He bought into Highcroft Gold Mine. AMC owns almost 30% of Highcroft Gold and Silver Mine in Nevada, which is going to be a huge player. They bought in over $27 million at $1.19. So right now they're up over $40 million on it. That's a great investment for AMC. Not only that, AMC is going to have AMC Perfectly Popcorn, branded popcorn in grocery stores countrywide to sell for extra revenue. An AMC branded credit card. They're getting into the NFT marketplace, and they're looking at a true AMC branded crypto coin, which will be insanely successful if they come out with it. On that, we went over short squeeze. We went over the price actions year to year. January 28th, right here, buy button got taken away. Then we went, everybody bought back in. Stock got strong, squeezed up. I'm sure some institutions flipped their position from short to long. They try to do that. We are now back at that same point. I don't believe this price action is legitimate. I think this is a product of payment for order flow and high frequency trading down to this point, which is absolutely disgusting. Payment for order flow is banned in most other countries like the UK, Canada, Australia, and Germany. The other issue is dark pools. Dark pools were set up to process big block order trades from companies so they didn't shock the active market. Say Warren Buffett decides to buy 400 million shares of AMC. What they would do is they would process that transaction through the dark pool and let that transaction hit the active market, the lit exchange, little by little, so it didn't cause some massive price spike to handle volatility. But what they're doing with dark pools now is they're taking all of retail's trades and they're bundling them up into one order, and they're putting it into the dark pool, and then they're processing it on the side little by little, which helps them control the price action. How do we own over 90% of the float? Almost every single AMC and GME share is owned, and the price is down to this level. If a company is owned outright by a bunch of people and they're making money, how could the price possibly be at that level? AMC, in my opinion, fundamentally is a $30 company. No problem, no questions asked. So now we have payment for order flow, dark pools. We have high frequency trading, which is all illegal in other countries, all being done by Citadel, all being done by Susquehanna, and Gary Gensler at the SEC doing nothing but making videos like this. Gary Gensler is a complete failure of a government, any type of government entity, any type of regulator. He should not be working in the SEC anymore, and he should be brought up on charges for market manipulation. They came out, Investomania. They came out with this video last week that everybody's seen. It's. Hold on, let me find the right one. Did they take it down? Here it is, right here.
I'll take guaranteed returns for 10,000.
Can't beat that.
Easy money.
Investing is not a game. All investments
They changed it. Unless I got the wrong one. Did they take it down? Here it is.
Welcome back, Brad. It's your investment.
I'll take meme stocks. Invest.
Ouch. Your investment, Julie.
I'm going to do some research first.
Well played, Julie. Well played.
You can do research.
investing is not a game. All
Absolutely disgusting that the SEC came out with a video like this. This is the SEC, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, came out with a video like this attacking retail investors. This is our tax money that the SEC, Gary Gensler said, we're really short on funds. We got to pay for our own coffee. Fucking douche. They're taking our tax money to make videos like this. Oh, Thyra, I thought it was fun. I'm talking to YouTube commenters. Thyra, it is kind of funny, but it's funny in such a bad way. And they got destroyed over this. They take our tax money and they pay for a video like this. Ken Griffin. Like this. With our tax money attacking us. This is beyond a conflict of interest for the SEC to do. This is paid and funded by Citadel. Absolutely paid and funded by Citadel. I don't care what anybody says. Gary Gensler should be fired immediately for this video even being thought of being created. And if you notice, they took the comments off so nobody can say anything about how bad and illegal this video should be. It's absolutely disgusting. Anyways, that's what we're fighting against. AMC, GME, primed for short squeezes. Again, my definitions on the terminology were really, really shallow because I don't want to over explain anything. I want you to go out, look up short squeeze, study it. Look up short interest, study it. Short squeeze, short interest, cost to borrow, days to cover. Look all those up. And then look up past short squeezes in history. Go back to January 28th on YouTube. Watch the videos of people talking about this. This is mostly if you're a new ape. So either way, we are primed. We're in the same position except 10 times stronger than last year. Bitcoin's in the dirt again. We're sitting in the same date, the same price, the same time frame, the same potential. And if you haven't yet, please consider go to the movies. Go to AMC theaters. If you're invested in these companies, and you can. If you're invested in AMC, go buy the product. If you're invested in GME, buy your gaming stuff from GameStop. We're the investor and we're the consumer. We have all the power in this. We love going to the movies. We love going to GameStop. See the movies, tweet about it. Buy the game, tweet about it. Get your social media presence online kicking about the not just the opportunity, but the retail movement of controlling our own money back into products that we want. I've stopped using Netflix. I've stopped using Prime. I've stopped using Amazon. I do not use any of my money to buy products from companies that Citadel Securities, Ken Griffin, holds long. I do that because if you're buying products from Amazon and you're buying products from Netflix, right? That money goes to that company becomes stronger, their investment becomes a better investment for them. It gives them more liquidity. I'm boycotting them all. Anything that Citadel Securities hold long. Now to look that up, all you got to do is type in Citadel Securities long positions and you'll get places like Whale Wisdom that shows you via their 13Fs. 13F is a filing document they file to show their position with the SEC, but you'll see just a common breakdown of the companies they hold long on there, okay? So that's it. Let me read a couple of comments here before I kick off. There's a lot of good comments in here. Ken Griffin's in the chat. It's funny. Let me pull it up so you guys can actually see it here. I should have had it up earlier. Let's see. I don't know why it hides comments. I have no idea. Gonna happen this year from KJW. I hope so, man. I'm thinking. I'm not setting any dates. Billy got a Glock. Billy got a Glock any day now. Man, I'm telling you, it's all primed up, dude. They're stuck. We are 100% winning right now. Let's see. Presentation Spence, 100%. Gorilla helmet, muscle, rocket chart, moon, money. Good use of emojis. Thank you for the Sunday uplifting stream from Savvy. Hey, no problem. I love seeing you guys here. This makes me uplifted to see all the beautiful faces in here. So they picked the wrong fight. Landshark. Yeah, they definitely picked the wrong fight. And if you didn't notice by Adam Aaron's tweet, can't believe I didn't go through any tweets. Adam Aaron. Where is he? Come on. There he is. The last thing that the MSM and the big funds tried to do is say there was a popcorn shortage. So he addressed that here. It amazes me the totally false info about AMC on the internet and in the press. Is it intentionally designed to scare retail shareholders? The latest FUD debunking. AMC already has under contract a supply of very high quality popcorn, all that we need for the next 3 years. It's already under contract. It's already paid for. They probably got a price fix on it. This is what good companies do. Like, let me tell you this. Airlines don't just buy fuel every day. Airlines contract fuel out for years. They pay a set price for an amount of fuel for years. This is what Adam Aaron did with popcorn. Absolutely brilliant. Back to the comments. Let's see. Where's my money, Ken? Ken Griffin. That's funny. Thyra, I honestly thought it was pretty funny considering where it came from. Yep. Thanks for your donations, Ken Griffin. KGW, anytime I can help the rich get richer. Let's see. They're all talking to the fake Ken Griffin in the YouTube chat. I work and every morning I got to pay for my own coffee. What is GG saying? If he doesn't get free coffee, him and his team can't do their job. Exactly. Context. That's Gary Gensler is nothing but a showboat. Everything he does with the SEC is theatrics. He waves his hands a lot. He makes a lot of smart words. He's, oh yeah, we're going to do this. He's a very process-oriented nerd, man. And all he's doing is he's setting up his career for after the SEC. He's making himself look good and presentable. He's advertising himself as a CV. And he's going on all these talk shows. And they keep saying how they're busting all these people. But when they bust all these people, they only charge them $100,000, $200,000. And then they pay out millions in whistleblower fees. The only action I've seen so far is from the DOJ, and that's going after Bill Huang from Archegos. Go back in time, look up Archegos. Archegos blew up from short and GameStop. Melvin blew up from short and GameStop. White Square Capital blew up from short and GameStop. And all these clowns were also shorting AMC too, probably not publicly. So, again, okay, I got to close it down. Good comments. Thank you, everybody. Please like and subscribe if you can. I really appreciate it. We're getting close to that 900 mark. I'm going to be doing more live streams coming up this week. Monday, I have one planned on a Twitter space call and YouTube. We're going to talk in a room about Canadian AMC, Canadian apes. Then we're going to try to do one about Germany, UK, all the countries, right? I want to get all the other AMC retail investors from other countries in a room specifically to talk about the situation of their theaters in their country so we can send it on to Adam Aaron. I'm going to write down a list of ideas, wants, and needs from other countries so AMC theaters can reach their maximum potential in every country. So make sure you guys catch that. Thank you for coming. You guys have a good weekend. Everybody be safe. We need all hands on deck. And don't miss out on your money, man. I'm not giving up. I'm not selling. I am going to watch this thing freaking skyrocket, and I'm going to watch all these corrupt hedge fund fuckers fall face first into the dirt, and they're going to step back and go, retail was right the entire time. That's all I got, guys. Thank you for coming. Froggy Stonks out.